For the first time in my life, I would be running without structure, and I intended to keep it that way for the year. Jim Bevan, my college coach, agreed to guide me from afar, monitoring my weekly mileage and emailing me flexible workout plans. But my exploration of new training styles would take precedence over my own running, and I wouldn't do any serious racing until I returned to the United States. To feel like I was still moving forward, still climbing the ranks, I framed the year ahead as an extended base building block, a chance to develop my aerobic system and experiment with new elements before, hopefully, entering the world of professional running after my return. London, England, my first destination, was shaping up to be the ideal place to kick off my tour. Not only was London hosting the 2012 Summer Olympic Games, it also had a sizable and growing recreational running community. I didn't know just how much this historic and international city would challenge my assumptions about running. Though I'll always opt for a spot on the starting line, the sideline of the Olympic marathon wasn't a bad alternative. As I jockeyed for position behind the barricade, waiting for the female leaders to fly by, I wasn't sure whether to be annoyed or impressed by the crowds. Despite a steady stream of rain all morning and the absence of an injured Paula Radcliffe, England's beloved world record holder in the marathon, it seemed that all of London had flooded the streets in order to catch a glimpse of these running superstars. I couldn't help but appreciate that so many people, standing 4 or 5 deep in some places, were fired up about a 26.2-mile race. As fascinating and dramatic as I found the marathon, I knew that watching one could be a logistical headache, and that a spectator's enthusiasm could easily wane over the hours of the race. I found a spot at the 5K mark with a prime view of the runners, and was thrilled to see 2 Americans, Shalane Flanagan and Kara Goucher, sharing the lead. Shalane and Kara were training partners based in Portland, Oregon, and the dynamic duo of female American distance running, with an Olympic and a World Championship medal between them. 3 miles into the race, they had settled into a comfortable pace, making it look as effortless as a typical training run, only with 100 or so other runners in pursuit. They were just warming up, trying to keep their bodies relaxed in preparation for the brutal miles ahead. A few strategies for racing a marathon seem universally practiced by the elites: minimizing energy output by running even, if not negative, splits for both halves, meaning the first half of the race is run at the same pace or slower than the second, spotting and grabbing staged fluid bottles every few miles to stay hydrated throughout the race, and being prepared to dig extraordinarily deep in the last 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles, the point that many competitive marathoners consider to be the real start of the race, and where the dreaded wall lurks. Beyond the basic strategies, the patterns of the lead pack were a mystery to me. A shoulder runner myself, most comfortable tucked right behind and slightly to the side of another runner, I was struck by the differences in the runners' preferred racing positions. Some, like Americans Shalane and Kara, chose to dictate the pace by running at the front of the pack. That also meant they would block the wind for their competitors, expend more mental energy, and be the first to navigate the course. This one with no fewer than 111 turns and 4 U-turns. Others, like the 40 or so women bunched together behind them at the 5K mark, were happy to latch on and hunker down, riding the wave without having to think too much, but with little control over the pace and a narrow window of time to respond to unexpected surges. Still, others disregarded their rivals entirely, running a predetermined pace or effort no matter who was around them, facing that demon of a distance all on their own. Which of those types of marathoners will I be when I move up in distance, I wondered, imagining myself in each position. Which is the most efficient? In about 2 hours, I hope to have my answer to the second question and some ideas about the first. The next time I saw the field of runners, the leaders were approaching the Tower Bridge, the halfway mark. The true battle was still ahead. After rushing to find a new spot for watching, the marathon takes the term spectator sport to a new level. I found a small bridge.